Good morning, my dear students of class 6. Now, today we're going to start with a new chapter, okay? And the name of the chapter is The Takeoff Board. Now, what we are going to learn in this chapter, okay? Now, it's basically about these children, okay? Now, they were on a field, they were practicing their long jump, and something happens, okay? So we're going to find out what happens in the story. Now, before I start, I would like to request you to please take out your textbooks so that as I explain, you can go line by line. You'll be able to understand the lesson better. Now, the story starts with this line. He wouldn't make it, not today. Here in this park that had the best athletic track he had ever seen. He knew he could beat him, all of them, but he wouldn't. They wouldn't let him. They were against him. He could feel it in the air, could see it in their eyes, in the way they turned and moved away from him, demonstrating a boisterous comradeship that left him out. So in this first paragraph, okay, basically the narrator is narrating the story, okay. This narrator is narrating about a boy, okay, about someone, and it's about a boy. The narrator says that today in this park, okay, there is a very good athletic track, okay, a place where they can do their sports. So this boy that the narrator is talking about, okay, he's very good in sports, okay. He can actually beat all of them, but all of them seems to be against him. That means none of them were his friends, okay. Now this boy, he could feel and he could sense what these other players or the other children around him were thinking about him. He could sense it. He knew they didn't like him. The way they looked at him, the way they spoke to each other. Okay, so this boy who was the main character in the story he feels alone. Okay, he feels alone. He's in this track and he knows that he can do it, but because all of these boys surrounding him, looking at him with those eyes, and he feels very lonely and he feels very little. Okay, he feels as if he cannot perform today at all. So now this boy, okay, as he's there standing in the field along with these other players around him, now there was also a coach who was standing there. Get it? Now he noticed there was one boy whose name was Ratan Mehta. This boy was like a superstar. He was a tall, handsome boy, okay, with muscles as hard as steel. And this boy, he was the center of attention. He was laughing and joking with his friends. He has a huge group of friends around him, okay, circling him. So the boy, the main character in the story, when he looked at this Ratan Mehta, he felt it reminded him of his time back when he was in Cochin. Okay, you see, this boy who was in the story, the main character, he just moved into Delhi. Okay, so this story that happened was in Delhi, but previously he was living in Cochin. So looking at Ratan Mehta, it reminded him, okay, back in the days when he was with his friends, where they practiced sports, they played sports together, and he was really good. He knew that, okay, and his friends would admire him and look up to him. So the moment he saw Ratan Mehta, that's what Ratan Mehta reminded him of his past. Now the coach here then calls all the boys. He says, "Come on, boys, get going. We don't have all day. Okay, stand in line, then one after another can go for the long jump. So this is the sports they were practicing this particular day. Okay, how to jump in a longer distance. That is what they call the long jump. So he tells them, don't waste time, fellas. We have to get ready for the inter-school day. Okay, so these boys were they were practicing to compete in an inter-school competition. So as all these boys were lining up, okay, one after another, now the coach would give them remarks. Okay, first boy was Madan. The moment Madan jumped, he did a very, very good jump that the coach said, keep it up, son. He gave them a remark, a very positive remark for them to do even better. Now here, okay, the main character in the story, this boy, it made him so nervous when he heard the coach, complimenting the other students around him. He says, it's going to be my turn now. What am I going to do? Can I make it? Will I be able to prove to all that I'm really, really good in this game? Now let's see what happens. Now when the time came for the boy, okay, the main character, this boy to make his jump. So he started off, he looked around, he was sweating already. Okay? As he launched himself high into space, stretched his arms and legs forward 7 meters. He knew it. But it still didn't count. So the coach said, watch that board, boy. Okay? Why? Now he jumped 7 meters long, but why didn't he do it? It was because he did not start from the track. Okay? He did not start from the particular line where he was supposed to jump. Instead, he jumped, he jumped in front of the line. He started his jump from the front of the line. That is why the coach asked him, he says, you should not do that. Okay, you have to watch the board. Now this boy, he walked back. Okay, his legs, they felt like rubber. His heart was pounding inside his throat. He brushed the sand off his elbow. Okay, he took his position, he bent forwards, and his eyes were on the pit. Now the faces of the other boys, okay, that were there, it was all a blur for this main character, this particular boy who came from Cochin. So as he started again, okay, he had to do it again. As he started it again, but unfortunately again, it was a foul. What did he do now? That's the question. Because instead, again, he did not notice the board that he was supposed to jump from. He was concentrating too much on how, the distance jump, that he didn't check the point where he actually need to start jumping from. Okay? Again, the coach said, it's a foul. You have to do it again. Okay? So this is what happened the second time too. Now the coach here was a little angry. He said, what's the matter with you, boy? Okay, his voice was not that unfriendly. Haven't you been taught how to count your steps? Come on, last try. Get moving. So now it's the third time the boy was given a chance to do the long jump. This boy, okay, now he was, I think even if you were in his place, if the first try you failed, the second try you failed, the third time, when you have to do it, you would be nervous, right? Your legs would be your legs would be all weak and you would be all sweaty. Yes or no? That's human nature. Okay, now let's see what happens to this boy. Can he do it? Now that's the question. So this boy picked himself up. Okay, his face was fully red because he felt ashamed. How he wished, okay, now that he were back home with his friends and they would laugh at him. But then there was no point trying to remember that. Okay? So Now he tried to carry his feet forward, stretching his feet, okay, warming up his feet so that he could actually land properly, okay? But deep down inside, he knew he couldn't jump. He was scared. Just then, what happened? He felt a hand on his shoulder, and a face appeared before him. It was none other than Ratan Mehta. Ratan Mehta, okay? He said something to the boy, but at this time this boy was not concentrating. So as he opened his ears, Ratan Mehta said, "Those were two fantastic jumps, okay? 7 meters, no kidding, man." That's what he was, they were talking to each other. He said, "You did a really good job, but if you want to do a greater job, okay, why don't you use this as a landmark?" This meaning he gave his red sweater. He said, "I will place this red sweater, okay, near the track, near the place where he needs to jump, and then you can start jumping and concentrate only on the red sweater." Okay, this is what Ratan Mehta helped him. Now this boy, he was amazed at how come Ratan Mehta, this very popular superstar boy who was so good with with his sports, why would he help me? But then it didn't really bother him at that time, okay? So he followed him down to the pit, stared down at his back as he placed the sweater near the track. So this boy said, "Thank you." Now Ratan Mehta, he gave this boy a very big smile, and he said, "V for victory." Okay? It was just then that something happened to this boy. Okay, the feeling of being paralyzed, it went away. And something started to vibrate inside and around him. So once more, what did he do? He got ready for the jump. Okay, his eyes were straight on the pit, the red sweater near the takeoff mark, so that he would not make the same mistake. As he lifted himself into the air, okay, he stretched his legs forward and he landed beautifully on his knees. Just after he did this, okay, there was a roar of applause, okay. All these other boys, they were shouting and cheering for this boy. He actually did a very, very good job. So this is the end of the story. Okay, now I hope you understand the story. Now the story it starts with this little boy. Now this little boy, he came all the way from Cochin. Okay, they moved into Delhi. So he was in the field with the other children, with the coach. He didn't know anyone. He wanted to participate, okay, in the long jump. He was very good, okay, in long jumps. But at the beginning, what happened? This boy, he felt lonely, he felt little, he felt small, he felt as if he can't do it. So when he looked at other boys doing a very good job and the coach, remarking them, like, for example, "Well done," okay, or "You did a great job," he also wanted that from the coach. But twice he failed in the long jump, okay? On the third time, it was Ratan Mehta who actually helped the boy. And the coach, what do you think the coach would say, when he finally did it? The coach would also remark him as "Well done," or "Great job," or "Fantastic job." Okay? So you see, my dear children, sometimes when we're alone, okay, when you go to a new school or you have new friends or you don't know anyone around you, don't ever feel small. If you're good at something, remember you can do it. Okay? Don't think that other people around you are looking down on you. or they are mocking behind your back. Okay? But you have to believe in yourself. Because you never know. A stranger like Ratan Mehta would be there to help you in your time of need. So this is actually a very beautiful lesson. Okay? It teaches us something. And the most important thing that it teaches us is that we should have faith in ourselves. So thank you for watching this video and have a very good day.